Can you just tell us give us a little bit of background about what you've done? Because there's a kind of farming component to it, plus this exploration component.
Yes. So, some of these companies have a classic project generator model, that you find something and you work it up the value curve, and then you farm it out and you have a retained interest and you get some cash from that. Salazar Resources has actually been listed for 13 years. And it set out as kind of a pure exploration company. It made the one discovery and it worked it up, got it into indicated resources, got a very advanced stage, and then has done the farm out. So on that farm out, we've got a 25% stake carried all the way through to production, but we also get advanced payments through royalties and management fees, which ticks us over with about $600,000 a year. So we've got income from that asset. We also got some drill rigs which we're using on those joint venture properties, actually 3 projects that we've farmed out, and that provides us with income as well. So as an exploration company with about $1 million of income, we can then fund the early stage value accretive work, which is a lot of the expertise of our Ecuadorian geology, our Ecuadorian exploration team. And it's a very low cost, but high value point. You spend $1 million and you can make a big discovery. So we're actually using the money from the advance payments, management fees, to turn it into the next discovery.
Okay, so let me drill down on that. So who are the farming partners? And if you could, so give us a sense of their capability or ability. I mean, are they desperately scrabbling around looking for money, or are they fully funded to do what they need to do?
Our farming partners are Adventus Mining, and they set up in 2016, maybe 2015, as a special purpose vehicle looking for zinc and copper assets, backed by an A-list of investors and shareholders. So they've got Altius behind them. They've got Wheat and Precious Metals. And there's a big group out of Ecuador called the Nobis Group. They've got RCF. It's an extraordinary shareholder list backing Adventus Mining, which is at the moment kind of Ecuadorian focused. They're not in production yet, but they've got very good access to capital.
Okay.
So they've done very well raising money for the joint venture. And actually, I think a key point for Salazar is that because we've managed our treasury very well, and because we've done the farm out, we haven't had to issue equity. So we're kind of a dilution protected vehicle. We haven't actually issued equity since 2014.
Yeah, no, I noted that, and we'll come on to that in a bit. But what exactly have they bought into? Why did they pick your asset above, others which may have been available to them given the capital that they've got?
Well, I think one of the key reasons is that El Domo, which is the name of the deposit within the bigger Curipamba project. This is in central Ecuador, just south of Quito. It was a discovery made by Salazar, and it's one of the richest volcanogenic massive sulfides in the world discovered in the last 10 years. A really good analog is the De Grussa deposit in Australia, which Sandfire Resources have. Now, when they made that discovery, their share price went from 7 cents to $7. And they're now mining that company. They've taken about $2 billion of revenue out of that asset. Their market cap, even with the 50% drop they've had in the last couple of months, is still around $500 million US. And these assets can be the cornerstones for really big companies.
But why do you say that? I got to interrupt you there. Why are you making that comparable? Where they are and where you are is miles apart. So in what way is it comparable?
Their maiden discovery was 7 million tons at 4.6% copper and 1.8 grams gold. It then grew into 14 million tons, and it's around 5% copper with about 2 grams gold. On a recovered value basis, their ore is worth about, today, $280 a ton. Our asset is 11 million tons, and it's running about 5% copper equivalent. In our ore value, it's about $260 per ton. We've got copper, gold, zinc, lead, and silver in ours. They've just got copper and gold. but the value per ton is roughly similar. Our sizes are roughly similar. There's nothing like it. I mean, the average grade of copper mines in the world today is around 0.5%. Our copper equivalent grade is 5%. That's an order of magnitude. That's 10 times higher grade than anything else. The economics on that deposit are stunning. And as a company, Salazar Resources, with a market cap of $15 million today, is fully carried on 25% of that. We don't have to issue a single share to get it into production. We don't have to invest a single cent. We're fully carried to production.
Which is fantastic. The fully carried, I was actually going to get onto it. So you've answered my question. You've stolen my thunder, Merlin. So you're fully carried and they're paying you money, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
You said they haven't started. Well, where are they at the moment, and when do things get moving? When can you, as Salazar, expect to start seeing some value accretion for your share of this?
Okay. Salazar Resources, because it's been an Ecuadorian company, it's run by Freddy Salazar. I'm the only gringo in the team. They're all based in Quito. They haven't done over the 10 years that they've been listed. Remember, it's been a downturn in the resources sector for most of that time. They haven't been pounding the streets telling the world what a great asset they have. So it's a slightly forgotten, slightly overlooked asset. Our liquidity is poor, but equally our value doesn't really reflect what we've got in the portfolio. The project is at a PEA stage. Well, we did a PEA about a year ago. We've gone through metallurgy. We're going to complete the feasibility study in 2022 and late 21, and aim for production in 2024. That's when the Ecuadorian government is expecting us to be in production. Adventus is in a real hurry to get in production. They want it to happen. So production, they're probably aiming for late 23, but 2024 is a more realistic timetable. I think the key thing about, you asked about when are we going to start accreting value, or is when is value really being recognized? I think once we've got a mining permit and a feasibility study, then people will sit up and realize, well, hang on, this is a DeGrussa, this is a Sandfire Resources lookalike. This shouldn't be worth, the NPV on the PEA was $300 million. And our 25% of that is whatever you want to call it, $70 million or $75 million worth.
Okay. And
versus our market cap today of 15.
Exactly, which is, what was it, point 0.2?
0.2 of NAV, yeah.
Which is, it seems ludicrous in a way.
It's ludicrous just on the value of El Domo, but actually, El Domo is the value case for the company. It de-risks your investment. But what you would want to get invested in Salazar Resources for is the fact that we are Ecuadorian and that we're explorers and we're going to find the next deposit.
And we'll come on to it.
Exciting.
We will come on to it, but I think you're being valued at the moment on that 25% free carry on El Domo. Okay, so I just want to dig down a little bit deeper on that one. So these guys are fully funded. Delivery 2024 into production 2024. Thereabouts.
Sorry, they're not fully funded. We're fully funded. They have to keep issuing equity, but they've got very supportive shareholders.
Sorry, bad phrase from me. They have got the ability to. I was referring to their shareholder base and the expectation that they could carry on funding themselves without coming against difficulties in the marketplace. Which is so. Thanks for clarifying that. But I want to talk about where value accretes for them, because if they're PEA stage, its NPV is nearly 300. Once they get into PFS, feasibility study, and a DFS, one would expect that to continue to gain in value. Typical Lassonde curve type structure, right? And for you too, you would hope to see that. But at the moment, if I'm looking at your share price, it's fairly static. It's fairly flat. Non-dilutive for many, many years, which is fantastic. And from what you're saying, the money that you're bringing in should allow you to do quite a bit. Now's probably the time to talk about some of the things that you are going to do to try and drive some kind of value which people recognize and hopefully reflected in your share price, which is the exploration assets that you've got and that you're working on. Can you give people a quick rundown of I think you've got 3 at the moment, but one which you're focusing on in particular?